classmate.
Hello guys, today I'm interviewing Brad Rea. He is 13 wins, no draws, no defeats, 5 wins by knockout. My first question is, what has been your hardest fight so far?
So I've had quite a few tough fights, to be fair. I had a few good ones as an amateur, but the one that springs to mind straight away is my first fight with boxer that was against Jez Smith. He's a top fighter, Jez, and I think we had a good clash of styles, and we put on a great fight, we put on a great show, and I think a lot of people appreciated that.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good fight. It should have been on the main channel, the main Sky.
Yeah, definitely. A few people said that before the fight. It was a mistake putting it on YouTube, and I think they've maybe learned a lesson from that, because since then, I've been on the main TV billings, which is good for me.
Yeah, and you did fight Lee Cutler as well last year.
Yeah, Lee was a really good fighter, and at the time, we were both undefeated, both small hall boxers, and this was kind of our chance. The first shot we've had on a big show. It was a matchroom show, and it was on televised, and we've both seen it as our breakout fight. And I'm very lucky that I got the win, and my career's kind of snowballed from there. But Lee's a very good fighter, and I've seen it, keeping up to date with him, and he's just won a title of his own, and he's looking at pushing on now at the weight below. So for me, that was a really good win.
Yeah, as you did take his O away from him as well.
Yeah. Like I said, we were both undefeated, and it was a big risk for us both. We both put it on the line because we knew what a win there could potentially lead to. Like it has done with me. I'm now signed with Boxer. I'm now boxing on Sky on a regular basis, and I'm really pushing on with my career. So the risk was definitely worth the reward in my case.
Yeah. Were you confident going into that fight? Because going into it, I was kind of 50-50 because you were both undefeated.
Yeah, I was extremely confident, and I'm sure Lee was as well. We'd actually sparred previously in the past, and we had a really good spar, and I think we were both going into the fight genuinely believing that we were going to win, and I knew that sparring can be very different to a fight, and a sparring Bradley Rea is very different to a fight in Bradley Rea, and I think I turned it on the night, and it surprised him. He'd not seen that side of me before, but yeah, really happy to get the win and kind of be pushing on now.
Yeah, and you also fought on twice this year on the Amir Khan undercard against Craig McCarthy. I was taking my seat at the time, getting a bag of crisps, ready to watch a cracking fight, and soon as I opened the bag of crisps, you knocked him out.
Well, sorry about that, but I was in a rush. But no, that was it was great to kind of be on such a huge show, huge platform and it, the icing on the cake, it was in my hometown, and I was later on in the card, the arena was filling up, and even better to get a first round win there. Everything just kind of fell into place, and I've said before that before nights like that, as a boxer, especially me, one thing I struggle to sleep the night before a fight. I don't know whether it's excitement or whatever, and you kind of go through the fight in your head so many times, and what happened was the perfect scenario. It's what I dreamed would happen the night before, and I'm just privileged that I could do that. Like I said, at Manchester Arena in my hometown, and it really got people talking and it got people excited, which is what I want.
Yeah, you're trained by Ricky Hatton, aren't you?
Yeah, so I train at Hatton's gym as part of the Hatton camp. My head coach is Blaine Eunice, who works as Ricky with as his assistant with his fighters. But we're all kind of just one big camp now. We've got a great stable coming up, and some really talented boxers who over the next few years are going to be breaking through.
Yeah. Going into the Craig McCarthy fight, another unbeaten fighter that you wiped out in the first round.
Yeah, I think when you're in with these undefeated fighters who don't know how to lose and, haven't tasted defeat, I think it's easier to kind of catch them with these shots, and, that they're coming to win, they're throwing shots and they're trying to knock me out. And when they're doing that, they're leaving openings, and, it's a lot easier to find the openings. So I think when I'm in there with the better opposition and the undefeated fighters, it brings out the best in me.
Yeah. I mean, what a knockout as well it was.
Yeah, I don't know where I pulled that one from. I've not done that one before, but, to be fair, it was a shot that me and my coach Blaine had been working on in the gym, and, it was so nice to put it into practice in the fight and it to work, and, for us to get it off. And it just shows that the stuff that we're doing in the gym, is really working.
Yeah. You got me off my bum when you knocked him out. Went mentalised, mate, mental.
Class, I think I got a lot of people on the feet, to be fair, which is what it's about. At the end of the day, I want to entertain people. I want people on the feet. I want people to be enjoying watching me fight, and I think I did that night, definitely.
Yeah. Were you more happy with that performance than you were against Cutler? Because I was more impressed with the Craig McCarthy win than the Cutler one.
Yeah, I think for me as well, with the McCarthy win, it was a lot more of the occasion and the location, and it was in my hometown, and it was on probably one of the biggest spectacles in boxing there's been in recent years. Amir Khan against Kell Brook was just such a huge fight, and it kind of dawned on me fight week how big it was, and I was just so grateful that I could be a part of it. But at the end of the day, as big of a fight that was, I was focused on me getting the job done, and I was just over the moon for it to kind of all fall into place and happen, like I said, on that big show and at the arena that I grew up going to when I was a young kid.
Yeah. If Craig McCarthy and Lee Cutler fought, who do you think would win?
Oh, that's a good one, that. That's a tough one. I think I'd probably favour Cutler. Although, McCarthy, I think he's the bigger man and he's got that southpaw style. I think Cutler can be quite tricky with the way he throws his shots and the way he puts his combinations together. And I think it just catch McCarthy with the cleaner punches.
Yeah. And then you fought in Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I boxed 2 weeks ago now against Lucas Ndofaluma, his name was, who was a very experienced fighter, come over from Africa, boxed at a good level, done the championship rounds, won titles, and I knew it was going to be a tricky fight, but again, it was a big learning fight for me. It's one that I come out on the other side where I know down the line it'll do me the world of good. That.
Yeah, it was good that you gained like the 8 rounds, but whilst you were winning every single round, you got the rounds in with a person who was coming to win.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very important for me to get some rounds under my belt, and like you said, I previously had them first round stoppages, and I'm in a position now where I want to start pushing on for titles and stuff, looking at challenging for titles. And if I'm going to be fighting 10-round fights, then 1-round knockouts, they're not going to do me much good, and I'm going to have to go the distance and go the rounds. And although I'm doing it in the gym, it's completely different on fight night. So it was good to get the rounds under my belt against such a veteran and an experienced fighter like Ndofaluma.
Yeah. I want to see you fight Nathan Heaney.
Yeah, it's a fight a lot of people want to see happen, including myself. I'd love for that fight. I think, Nathan's got an unbelievable fan base, follow him all over, and there's talks of him maybe looking at this arena show in Stoke, fighting at the stadium in Stoke, which I'm not sure how many it holds, but if Nathan wants to get on the phone to my team and offer us that, we'll be there at the drop of a hat. No worries at all.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter, Nathan, but they're the type of fights that I turn professional to be involved in. I can just imagine the atmosphere, now, and it's something that I'd love to be involved in, and it's a fight that I'd be very confident of winning.
Yeah. I reckon that your fans would be louder than his, mate.
We'll definitely give it a good go as Manx anyway. My lot love the fight nights, and they really look forward to it. And as loud as they are and as outnumbered as they might be, they definitely give it a good go.
Yeah. Did you watch Heaney's fight on the weekend? Because he did get dropped in the first round, and then he won every other round. Did you watch it?
I've not seen the fight yet. I've seen the knockdown, but I've not actually caught up on the fight yet. But I've heard he won comfortably apart from the knockdown, and he looked quite impressive. So he's looking to push on. So fair play to him. He knows I've made it clear that that's a fight I'd like, and if it happens, it happens. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm on my own path, and I've got my own plan. So down the line, hopefully that fight can happen.
Yeah. Who else would you like to fight? Like, are you going to push on for like British, or like as Nathan Heaney's got the IBO International? Who else do you want to fight?
Yeah, so in domestically with British boxing, at middleweight, the division is stacked. There's so many good fighters. For me, my plan is by the end of this year, I want to aim for the English title. I think River Wilson Ben and Tyler Denny fight for the English title in June.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can get a fight in before that, and then look at the winner of that at some point. Two very good fighters, two very, very good fighters who I've got a lot of respect for. But they're in my way at the end of the day. I've got my eyes set on that English title, and whoever's got that title by the time I'm ready to fight for it, I'm coming for the belt. So whichever one it'll be, who wins the fight, they know that they're gonna have me to get through next.
Yeah. Who wins that fight?
It's a tough fight to call because the box before where they had the draw, and at the time I thought I had River Wilson bent up on the card, but I think Denny was coming into the fight coming on strong, and Denny's an experienced fighter. He's been in them title fights before. He's gone the distance, and I think he would have finished strong. Obviously, the fight was stopped on the cut, which was ruled as a head clash. Don't think it was a head clash. I think Denny was done over there a little bit, but I think they both will have learned from that first fight. They both will have gone back to the drawing board, and I'm really looking forward to the second fight. I think it'll be interesting. I think with the little bit more experience Ben have gained now, I think if he can have the fitness to get into them later rounds, I think he could continue to, as he was earlier on. He did start to fade last time, but if he can keep that up, he can get the win. But it's one I'm looking forward to, and like I said, I've got a big interest in it.
Yeah. My money's on River. I reckon River's gonna beat him.
Yeah, it really wouldn't surprise me. Either way, it wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, because they are both very good boxers, and I think Denny works out of that southpaw, stands very, very well, and he was coming on strong in the second half of that fight. It really was, and you could only see the fight going one way before it was stopped. But it's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Who is your favourite current fighter?
Oh, tough one. There's a lot of fighters I love watching. I'm a big Josh Taylor fan. I love watching Josh Taylor, and it's something in the gym we work on switching southpaw, and Taylor's one of the fighters that I watch a lot to kind of mimic the way he boxes from that southpaw stance. I didn't have him winning that last fight. You know, I think Cattrall won the fight clearly, but you know that doesn't take away from the fact that Taylor's one of my favourite fighters still, and I love watching him. And hopefully he's going to move up in weight now. And you know, I'm really interested to see how he gets on at welter.
I think he should rematch Catterall.
Yeah, you know, I think it was kind of known before the fight. It was talked about this is going to be Taylor's last fight at the weight. So I don't think the decision kind of changes that. I think he always planned on moving up, and Jack does the weight quite relatively easy, doesn't he? So I think there's no point Jack moving up to box Taylor at the new weight. You know, I'd love to see that fight again. I am a big Cattrall fan as well. He should be unified champion, but I think if the fight did happen again, I think it'd be a very different story.
Yeah. Have you got any like people that you want to shout out on your journey? Like any sponsors you want to shout out?
Yeah, so I've got a few sponsors. So big shout out to all my sponsors who, you know, it's really I couldn't do it without them. They know who they are and they kept me going at tough times. And now, you know, I'm kind of getting there now, and it's all down to them. You know, big thank you to my team, to my coaches, Blaine and Ricky, and my management team, VIP, Steve Wood. And, you know, now got the backing of Boxer, Ben Shalom and Sky Sports. And, you know, I've really got a good team around me now. And I feel like it's a team who can take me to the top. So, you know, exciting times ahead.
Yeah. And my final question is, do you have any advice for people who want to get into boxing?
A bit of advice would be just to stay persistent and, you know, stay motivated. Don't get distracted. You know, there will be ups, there will be downs. There'll probably be a lot more downs, but you've just got to stay at it. You know, it's a hard sport at times, but if you're good enough and you work hard enough, you know, you'll get to the way you want to be eventually.
Yeah, I want to say a massive, massive thank you for coming on, and hopefully I can come and support you soon to take someone else's O away from them.
Anytime, mate. Thanks so much for talking to you.
Thank you, mate, for your time, and good luck in your next fight.
Thanks, mate. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye, mate.